What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to US dollar. We're also going to be looking at the current coin market cap, as well as a extremely interesting and critical formation that is happening on practically all of the cryptocurrencies. Just to really show you guys really quick, you can see I didn't draw it out on XRP, but if you look at some of the other cryptocurrencies, there are some very interesting formations happening, specifically on Bitcoin in the form of an ascending triangle, as well as on Litecoin. I do believe these are some very interesting things that we have to pay very close attention to, and that if you're going to be trading with cryptocurrency, you should be listening to this and figuring out what this ascending triangle or ascending wedge means. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump into today's episode. So as you guys can see, I am on my current YouTube channel. You can see yesterday's video, I put out an alert in regards to the fact that there was a very interesting evening star doji forming on Litecoin. You can see very clearly right here what exactly that is. It's usually formed after a big bullish candle. We have a lot of inconsistency and uncertainty in the market, and then it usually starts to refer to a break to the bearish downtrend. Now, not only are we seeing that form, but we're also seeing this ascending, wedge forming, which to some may be bullish, to some may be bearish. I want to show you guys the information that I found, the research that I found on that, and then we'll kind of come up with some sort of conclusion in regards to where we could be seeing short term the market be moving to. So as you guys can see, we'll look at Litecoin, we'll look at Bitcoin, we'll look at Ethereum, as well as XRP. All these cryptocurrencies are making some absolutely phenomenal movements, and I do want to discuss in depth with you guys what exactly is going on. As you guys can see, to start, top 10 cryptocurrencies look okay. Everything is in green except for Tether, but ultimately the markets are, for the most part, up. We're starting to see a lot of consolidation, a lot of sideways movement. We're not really seeing much more bullish moves or corrections just yet, but as for the moment right now, we're starting to see this sideways trading, and we want to discuss what exactly this represents as to why we're kind of peaking off right now. We want to go in depth to see whether or not this is the top, this is where it's going to hit, and we're not going to be forming, really any lower. Now, just really quick, I just want to draw on another resistance onto XRP, because as we know, when XRP scales up, we start to see different movements in the market, and we start to hit different resistances, different supports, things of that nature. I also want to just compare really quickly XRP to Bitcoin. You can see, yes, we did have this run, but you can see for the most part, XRP does have a different formation on the price graph compared to the other cryptocurrencies. So I do like to graph XRP separately from the other altcoins. Also, what's interesting to note is the odd formation that we're starting to hit right now. So what I said in yesterday's video was if we broke through 30 cents, this was going to be the major cap. If we were able to close above 30 cents, there was a very high chance we were going to pump higher. That's what we're starting to see right now. There's a clear uptrend right here that's forming, but for the most part, we did ultimately just, go away from that, and we did move away and kind of are starting to form what appears to be a very FOMO, overbought, price level that doesn't seem to be having much luck breaking through 32 cents. Now, I do believe long term, the next couple of months, we will be seeing XRP pump higher. But if you just notice, if I just scale us back ever so slightly into the previous history on XRP, you can literally see the problem that this level is holding right now. I just want to show you guys in the short term what you're seeing here. This is literally months of sideways trading in between the 30 and 32 cent barrier. I just want to show you guys this one right here. This is 116 days of resistance, and we have probably about a month of sideways trading right here. This is about 26 days of resistance as well. So you can see for the most part, we are literally stuck in what appears to be a very strong sideways channel. Now, I mean, it's honestly beautiful that we got back inside of here, but it looks like we may have a bit of trouble breaking through that resistance. Now, if we do look at the weekly, there is a lot of bullish reasons why I do believe we're going to break through that. Yes, we are stuck in there for right now, but if you notice, we're nowhere near we're getting closer to the high-low middle moving average, and from the red band right here, there's plenty of gap in between here for the price to easily go to 80 cents. Now, I do believe being a little bit overbought on the daily and the 4-hour for XRP, it does mean some consolidation is needed. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but I think the market needs some sort of consolidation to pump higher, especially at the resistance that XRP is currently trading at. Now I just want to jump into the Bitcoin and the Litecoin charts. As you guys can see, Bitcoin and Litecoin have been having the same, trends for the most part. Litecoin, Bitcoin, they look very, very, very similar, which is odd. Not necessarily odd, but it does help us graph what exactly is going to happen. So a couple of things to key pointers to point out. We're overbought on Litecoin. We're nearing overbought on Bitcoin. We have some sort of reversal evening star doji forming on Litecoin as well as on Bitcoin as well as on Litecoin. Now I want to show you guys what I did find out was that there is some sort of ascending wedge forming on the Litecoin and Bitcoin charts. And I want to show you what that means based off of technical analysis. Now just a quick Google search of ascending wedge pattern. You can see that this is a common practice, a common thing that tends to happen. Now, yes, this does look familiar with the price, but I just want to show you guys, we came in through the top. This is referencing right now the price breaking bearish and then forming an ascending wedge. Well, the price broke up into an ascending wedge, so it's not necessarily a bearish one. I mean, we could consider this price right here to be the formation there. I don't want to consider that just because of how low we were here. I do believe we started up and then started to complete this, so I wouldn't reference this one to be precise. But when you start to look at other references, this one, for example, is more or less very similar to the formation that we're having right now. You can see the price pretty much slowly grew inside of the ascending wedge on Litecoin as well as on Bitcoin. It grew inside of it, hit the top resistance, and then started to form what appears to be this ascending wedge formation. You can see this is exactly what's happening. The problem is these charts don't necessarily show the outcome, or at least this one doesn't. What I want to reference is this one right here, which is fairly interesting, and I do want to refer to it. You can see there's two that I want to talk about. You can see with this one, the price jumped inside of it, and then they're referencing that the price usually breaks down about the same price as the mouth of the ascending wedge, and that's what we want to consider. Is this due for a correction lower? That's the crazy part. That's the thing we want to refer to. You can even see on this one, I don't know why it's not filling in white. I guess I'll just zoom in here so you guys can see a better picture. You can see the trend jumps inside of it, very similar to Litecoin and Bitcoin. The price jumped inside of the wedge and then it started to trend upwards. You can see it has a couple signal. This is what they're calling a rising wedge reversal. Usually it bounces in between here and then it tends to be breaking bearish, and then they sell off right here, and then they're taking profits right here. So this could be a stop loss at top. That's what they're putting in their stop losses at. So basically, if you wanted to set up a position and take the edge, you can use DueDEX to short Bitcoin, which is what I'm probably going to do. And there is, that cross right here. Let's draw this out really quick. You can see that they do tend to have a cross. I would put a stop loss probably around $10,500, $10,700, in between that area. And then they're expecting and anticipating a break bearish based off the price of the mouth, which is about a 20% increase. If we then draw that from the top, we're anticipating potentially a 20% correction, which doesn't really look too bad because that will bring us right back down to the high-low MMA on the daily. If we look at Bitcoin on the weekly, you can see we are also kind of high from the high-low MMA, so a small correction back lower isn't necessarily a problem. If we look here, a 20% drop would bring us about to this level right here. I'm going to zoom in really quickly on the daily so we can get a better adjustment. Yeah, 20% drop would bring us to the high-low MMA on the daily. It would also bring us fairly close to the high-low MMA on the weekly. Now, we didn't see that happen in the past. Usually we just, trended upwards, but you can see even off this major run twice, we had two major runs of about a, let's see, this is a 131% jump, which is wild, and this was a 124% jump, which is also wild. If we consider this, rally right here that we're starting to see, this was about a 40% leap, a lot less than what we had here, but the prices were a lot lower. We ultimately had some sort of correction back down. These happened twice on this major uptrend, which ultimately allowed the coin to shoot up even higher. So it's very interesting. You can also look at the clear uncertainty on the weekly charts forming on Bitcoin, which is referencing, yes, bulls are winning, but there's also a big resistance up here that could ultimately indicate a reversal or a correction back down to the weekly high-low middle moving average, as well as on the daily high-low middle moving average. That is something to consider. It looks very similar to this in reference to the fact that they are basically showing some sort of bearish formation happening. That's what we have to consider. You can see right here this rising wedge, what they're referencing. Again, they're calculating the mouth of the rising wedge and then considering the breakout or the breakdown to be the same size as the mouth. And they're noticing that when we enter hitting resistance at the top first instead of support at the bottom, we tend to be breaking bearish. So that's kind of going to be my assumption for the market right now. I mean, take it with a grain of salt. I could be totally wrong at this. I'm no financial advisor. I'm just giving you my, my reasonings and my thoughts. But to see this pattern forming right here, a very bullish one at that, it looks to me like it wants to break bearish. It wants to consolidate downwards. We're nearing overbought on the daily. We're not necessarily overbought. We're kind of high 62 on the RSI on the weekly, but it looks like for the most part these coins want to break down. And I know that's unfortunate, but we're inside the high-low MMA. That looks great. We may come back to support retesting 66 before breaking higher. Obviously, if we don't and we just explode up, that would be even cooler, but I may put in another short position. I know that sounds crazy in a bull market, but it's only short term, maybe back down to 70, putting a stop loss at about 83 on Litecoin and about 10.5, 10.6, 10.650 on Bitcoin. Stop loss there, anticipating a rally to the downside. That's going to be my position. If you guys have me on Patreon or want to add me on Patreon, all that will be added onto Patreon, as well as if I do actually commit to the short, which I'm probably going to do after this video, you can definitely check that out as well. There is a link in the description for you guys to sign up to DueDEX, so I highly recommend you do that if you have any interest in shorting the market. It also does help support the channel. Otherwise, that's going to wrap up today's video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.